Hello everyone, I am author Dianna Gunn, and today I'm here to talk about how to make healthy comparisons to improve your life. So last month we talked about comparisonitis, and there was an enormous response to this. A lot of you seem to struggle with this. Not really surprised. I think this is something that everyone struggles with, but especially writers and creative people. But there were also a couple people who mentioned that they do have comparisons in their lives that are healthy and that serve them and that actually help them do better and stay on track with their goals. And I thought this was something that was really important to talk about in more detail because comparisons can be really useful and really healthy, but a lot of us, especially those of us who are struggling with a serious mental illness, we don't actually know how to make those healthy comparisons, and we don't know how to build those into our lives. So today I'm going to give you a very simple 4-step process that will help you build healthy comparisons into your life. And this process is going to be choosing pace setters. Pace setters is a term that I am stealing directly from my author friend Sharon Ledwith, who is awesome, and you can check out her stuff in the video description below. And basically it's exactly what it sounds like. A pace setter is someone whose pace at something you want to meet, you want to emulate. So this could be literal pace, like, say you want to publish as often as that person publishes, or it could be more about skill level and being like, I want to develop the same level of skill that I see in this person's books. I want to create the same level of world building or character development that this writer does. Okay, so step number 1. Choose an area of your life to improve. I know you probably already think you know what you want to improve in your life, but I want you to really take a moment and be intentional about this and write that shit down. Because knowing very specifically what you're going to work on, what you want to work on, makes it easier for you to choose the right pace setters and to limit yourself in terms of how much you're comparing yourself to others. Because even if you're using pace setters that you've intentionally chosen and you're trying to make healthy comparisons, if you're spending too much time on them, it's still a bad thing, and so you want to really limit how many pace setters you have and what you're focusing on. It's also a lot easier to make small changes in your life than it is to make big sweeping changes at once, so really narrow in on one thing you want to improve and then move on to the next step, which is choosing those pace setters. And I'm not saying that you should choose Stephen King as a pace setter, even though I'm sure we would all really love to have Stephen King's career or something like it, because his career is an anomaly. And no matter how much work you put into it, there's an amount of sheer dumb luck that goes into having an anomalous career like that, and you can't count on that. You can only count on your own hard work. So your pace setters should be far enough ahead of you that it's going to take a lot of work to get there, and it is ambitious and you're still pushing yourself, but not so far ahead that it's not really logically feasible, and not so far ahead that it's going to feel impossible. I chose Joanna Penn as one of my primary pace setters because she publishes books quickly. She's published 28 books in just under 10 years. But she doesn't publish books so quickly that it feels insane. There are authors I follow who publish 4, 6, even 10 or 12 books a year, and that is completely insane to me. I can't imagine being able to push books out that fast. But I can imagine being able to push out 2, 3 books a year consistently and being close to Joanna Penn's pace. And the other reason I chose Dianna Gunn as a pace setter is because she has a really good balance of nonfiction and fiction writing. And I'm a freelancer by day, and I really enjoy my nonfiction writing, but I would eventually like to shift that to books. And so I've chosen Joanna as a pace setter because eventually I would like to reach a similar balance between my fiction and my nonfiction. Your pace setters should be chosen for similar reasons, and you should choose them with a very, very specific goal in mind. Step number 3 is to study your pacesetter's success. Become a student of their success. And this can be quite literally, because a lot of these people do teach, especially in the writing and creative space, or they do public speaking gigs, and you can go there and you can literally like soak in their brilliance and learn from them. But it doesn't have to be so literal. It can be studying their social media campaigns, paying close attention to their book releases and where they get reviews and how they get reviews. It can be listening to their podcasts or their blog posts if they're one of the many writers who tracks their success through those tools and shares them with the world. The important thing here is that you are very intentional and that you are actively focusing on how you can then map out their success journey and translate that into your own life. What elements of their success can you replicate in your own career, in your own life? This should be the question that you are asking yourself every time you make the comparison. What can I implement in my own life, and how can I implement this into my own life? So you make sure that you are always using that comparison, because if you're not using it and you're just making the comparison, you're very quickly going to fall into comparisonitis and making yourself miserable again. And we don't want to do that, which is why there is also step number 4. And step number 4 is to do a regular check-in with yourself. I would say probably at least once a month, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, is this comparison still serving me? Am I spending too much time on this comparison? Am I really studying this person's success? Or am I just falling into comparisonitis and making myself miserable? And you can do that. You can actually go back to my video about comparisonitis and walk yourself through all the questions that I ask in that video to do your check-in. And if you realize the comparison is not healthy, stop it, get rid of it. And you need to do this every month so that you don't let this become permanent behavior. Once it's been in your head for more than a month, it's part of your head. It becomes part of who you are. And if you let it go beyond that, it becomes so much more difficult to get that out of your head. So once a month, check in with yourself. Make sure that comparison is still serving you. And if it is, keep going, keep using it. And if not, get rid of it. You don't need that shit. Alright, so those are my 4 steps to choosing pace setters and using healthy comparisons to improve your life. I want to say thank you again to Sharon Ledwith for the word pace setters. I'm very grateful. And now let's get to what you have been really waiting for this whole time, and I bet a couple of you might have even skipped ahead to find out who won this beautiful copy of Turn Your Pain into Art by Ariel Bloomer. And this is going to go to YouTube user Accidental Intent? Accidental? I'm not really sure, there's a Z there, it's kind of odd. But hey, Accidental Intent, reach out to me and you will get this mailed to your house right away. And to everyone else, thank you again for watching. Your viewership means the world to me. I would love to hear what you think about this video, or if there's anything you would really like me to discuss in the coming weeks. And I will see you next Monday.